I think I figured out how to make my studio look completely different without actually changing anything. It's the same setup, same room, but at the press of a button, it can go from daytime to sunset to night, which means I'm not sitting around waiting for the right light anymore. I just literally pick the mood I want and start filming. I've played around with using my TV as a background before, but this takes it somewhere I didn't really expect. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing it and why it might be one of the simplest ways to make one setup feel like three. So yeah, I'm cheating a little. Actually, maybe more than a little. The background you're looking at is AI generated, sitting on a TV just off frame. It's smoke and mirrors, just without the smoke or the mirrors, just a quite large TV. And then I've matched the lighting in the room to actually sell it. That's really the whole trick. The image is only half of it. If the lighting doesn't match, it just looks like you've got a TV behind you. But when it does match, it starts to feel like a real place. The thing is, I'd already built a background that I was, really happy with, but I know myself. If I was to use that same look on every video, eventually it's going to start feeling stale for me and for you watching. So rather than scrapping it and starting over, I started wondering, well, how much further can I actually push this TV idea? And that's when the time of day idea clicked. Because if I'm already faking, daylight through a window that doesn't exist, what happens if I change that to sunset or night? Suddenly the same TV, the same image, just a different version of it, and the whole room feels like a completely different studio set. Daytime feels crisp and focused, sunset feels warmer, more cinematic, and night can feel cozy, like a completely different kind of video. And honestly, the best part, I get to pick the vibe before I hit record. It's like choosing a filter, but actually good. And look, this works even if you make totally different types of content. If you've got 2 channels, for example, or you cover different topics, each one could live in its own look. It's the same room, it just feels different. I said to a mate the other day, this is the first time I genuinely feel like, I'm not stuck in a set look. That matters when you're filming in the same location every time. You've got flexibility now. So in terms of what you actually need for this, it's 3 things. A TV first, obviously, and I'd go 65-inch minimum if you want to genuinely sell the look. I've been running that size, and it works well, but I've actually just got myself a second-hand 85-inch screen, so I'm really curious to see how much further that pushes it. Then you need an AI tool to generate the background images themselves, and then lighting you can control. That part, non-negotiable. Without it, you can't match the scene and the whole thing will fall apart. If you want to pull off the multi-scene look, day, sunset, night, you're going to need either bicolor lights or RGB lights. That's what gives you the ability to match the color temperature of each scene. Without that, to be honest, you're a bit stuck. And if you're lucky, your lights might come with an app that lets you save the presets and switch between the scenes instantly. That's what I use, and it's a game changer. But even if yours don't, just noting down your settings once you've dialed them in works just as well. You'll also need blackout fabric to get the room completely dark. Whatever works for your space. I use fabric with suction cups, but as long as the natural light is blocked, you're all good. If you haven't seen my original TV background video, I'll link it at the end. That one goes deeper into how I actually built the image and light it, but for this video I wanted to focus specifically on how I took that original image and I turned it into 3 different scenes. Now before anyone asks in the comments, what about green screen or an AI background tool? Well, check this out. I wear glasses. Good luck with that. I got curly hair. What are you going to do about that? And how about this? Try doing this cleanly with either of those. The tint, the refraction, the glass itself. The TV just handles all of it naturally. No post-processing, no masking. It's just real. And tasty. Purely for demonstration purposes only. Ooh. So the way I approached this was starting with the daytime version first. And I really pushed the sunlight on that one, like almost uncomfortably bright. That midday sun where you'll be squinting if you actually sit in there. Once I was happy with that, I took the same image back into the AI software and I started describing what I wanted from sunset. Warm tones, which lamps might be on, the kind of mood I was going for. And then I did the same for the night. Swapped them sun rays for moonlight, turned both lamps on, kept it cozy. So by the end, I had 3 variations of essentially the same room, which still feels a bit mad when I think about it. The one thing I'll warn you about though, AI is inconsistent. Even when you're specific saying, don't change that, it'll quietly change things you didn't ask it to. So there was a bit of manual cleanup involved on my end. Not a huge amount, but enough that I want to be upfront about it rather than make it look really, really easy. So as you can see, here's the original images straight from AI, and here's after I had gone in and tidied it up to make them more consistent. So once you got your images, getting them onto the TV is the simplest part of all of this. I use screen mirroring on the Mac, literally just a click of a button and it's there, but there are other options depending on your setup. Maybe a USB stick or an extra long HDMI cable, whatever works best for you. So once your images are ready on the TV, set up, camera in position, you're in position, the blackout materials on the window blocking all natural light, the next step is where the magic really happens. Lighting. Essentially, you're just looking at your image and reverse engineering the light. Where's it coming from? What color is it? And then you're recreating that in the room. For my daytime scene, key light is set to 5000 Kelvin, rim light behind me also at 5000 to mimic that hard sunlight coming through the window. Fill light shifted warmer than the key at 3700 and just pull back in power to lift the shadows without flattening everything out. And because the lamp isn't on in the daytime image, I use that light as a subtle edge separation instead at 5600 Kelvin, just enough to add some depth to the side of my face. And for an added bit of punch from the window light, I added a small tube light set to 5600 Kelvin also. Sunset image shifts into the orange tone, so key light drops warmer to 2800 Kelvin. Rim light goes warmer at 2500. That contrast between the warm tones and the cool bricks is what gives the scene its depth. Fill light shifts to a cooler 14,000, so you can get that shadow tint on the wall introduced, and the lamp now mimics an actual lamp in shot, so that switches to an RGB orange hue to match. And finally, the night scene, and honestly, this one took the most experimenting to get right. The key light power is set way down, but it's set to 5300 Kelvin just to give a little exposure. Rim light pushed very cool at 17,000 Kelvin. That's what sells the moonlight on the hair and shoulders. The lamp light goes up in power, set to a warm orange to match the lamp in the image. Then the fill light, that's set to 9500 Kelvin to bring a touch of the coolness back in to stop everything from feeling too muddy. And the finishing touch, now we have the other lamp on in the background. It's a small RGB tube light just aimed at my cheek, set to a warm orange to mimic that second lamp. It's a small detail, but it's the thing that really makes the whole scene click into place. Yes, I may have spent a fair bit of time getting each of these scenes dialed in, but once they're saved as presets in the app, that's it, done. One click on the scene that I want and the lights will load up in an instant. So don't be put off by it. It takes a bit of back and forth to get there. But that's just normal. Just enjoy the process and it will click sooner than you think. And if you do want to take this further as a proper studio build, this is genuinely something I'm passionate about and would love to help you with. You know where to find me. Link is in the description. And there you have it. 3 scenes ready to shoot whenever you want them. Daytime, sunset, night. Same setup, same room, just a completely different feel depending on what you're making. And even if you're making the same content every time, having that variation means your viewers always get a fresh image. No more of that stale, same background, every video feeling. If you haven't seen the original video where I set my TV up as a background, that's well worth a watch. It goes into a lot more detail on creating the image from scratch, what to look for, how to get results like you're seeing here, and it's on screen now, so go give that one a watch. And if you do want to get in touch about a potential studio build, there's a link in the description for that. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Just got my hands on that massive 85-inch TV, so things are about to get very interesting, very big, very soon. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!